Alright, we're here with Yorion, and it's in a control deck. The goal of this version of it is to, again, approach the Second Sun, my favorite card of all time. Anything I can possibly do to not win by physically beating my opponent to death is an avenue I will take until I run out of ways to do it. So we have kind of the best blink effects. I like Faceless Agent. Some new cards too that I crafted, like Unexpected Conversion. It's like a divination, and it gets rid of a card that might not be good at all in a certain matchup. So you just get rid of it and have a chance to draw something else. I like that. Probably better in like when you can play more copies of a card, because then you can get rid of, a really bad card in your entire deck. But still good enough in my opinion to play here. Slayer's Bounty. I like the things it can get. There's not a lot of other cards that are clues, so like cracking clues before you crack this one actually lets you continuously draft. But there's just not a lot of clues. No more Agent of Treachery, so we're just using Meteor Golem, which is almost as good, except it doesn't permanently deal with some commanders because you don't get to control them. They die and go to the opponent's command zone. We're running counter spells, and for card draw, it's more on my planeswalkers than it is like instant speed card draw and stuff. I mean, we're running Mulldrifter, but there's no like on my opponent's end step I'm drawing 3 or something like that. I crafted the new one, the Seek one. So you draw 3, or I technically Seek. It's not draw, so it beats Narset and discounts your whole hand by 1. A little expensive, but I thought I'd give it a shot. Obviously, Key to the Archive, so more chances to get approach, and we can blink it with Yorion and a couple other cards. Not running Restoration Angel, but eh. Teleportation Circle's another one. It's basically another copy of Thassa, basically, except a little bit better. It can blink artifacts. There's a couple that are somewhat relevant, right? Which is pretty cool. And yeah, let's see how we do. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you think about the deck. Well, after I play it, maybe. I never get used to this wonky new thing here. I didn't even know there was a standard Brawl, actually. I can't imagine it's very interesting because it's standard and there's not many cards to play with, and you're going to see a lot of overlap between like people's decks. And not many commanders, right? There's going to be how many commanders? Maybe 5? 5 to 10? And there's probably like 2 or 3 that are just so absurdly good, and the disparity is like bigger than it is when you're playing against the best ones here in Historic. Standard just doesn't have a lot of cards, unfortunately, to like go crazy. We like this hand. It's got Wash Away, Essence Scatter. Zakama's a cool one. I'm glad to see that. I'll always love playing against Zakama. I love Zakama. Alright, turn 2 Mana Rock is pretty big, pretty huge. Alright, don't play... Okay, that's fine. Another Mana Rock. Wow, I'm getting quite lucky here. We're going to name Blue? Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good, actually. So we can... No, Yorion doesn't do anything next turn. They're not going to Zakama next turn, so we can pretty much just play out this Cloud Blazer. Maybe I'll draw a tap land. We'll see. Nope. I don't have a way to bounce this, but we're actually in Kiara Best the Sea God territory now, which is pretty huge. Opponent gets 1, 2, 3. They get a Snakeskin Veil, a Minidork, and a bunch of lands. Okay, that's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did they play a... No, this is... Yeah, there's a second land. So they have 1, 2, 3... They did not play this out of hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they can play Zakama next turn. I think I'm going to just counter this. It didn't come out of hand, so I can counter it for 1 mana. It just slows them down for a turn, and we already have mana to counter this. another counterspell. So this means I don't have to leave up counter magic like immediately. Well, blue, I can do this actually, because this comes back. And then we Charming Prince. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I can't Charming Prince because I won't have 4 mana. And I need Essence Scatter to actually do something. Wayward Swordtooth. That is totally fine. We have the Charming Prince Yorion loop. Like they exile each other over and over. Which means I'm going to be drawing a lot of cards. I don't care about them. They Snakeskin Veil, probably just because it's going away and they just want to get it out of hand. Yeah, alright, we're going to loot this. Cycle, whatever. Sublime Epiphany, okay. These fly, so we're going to fly overhead. They have a 1 mana spell here. It could be a Lightning Bolt, which would be really not good for us. I don't want to see that, but it is what it is. Ephemerate was kind of huge, so we're going to exile Yorion. We're going to play Decline. Decline. We're going to play that, and then we're going to pass. Flickering Prince and Cloud Blazer. And then they come back on my opponent's end step. And then I can do it again. So until they kill one of these 2 creatures, we can keep doing this over and over. And it wouldn't really do anything unless I had exactly what I need. That being something like this to have this be worthwhile. Unfortunately, I have to counter that. So now I have to leave up quite a bit of mana to defend myself from Sakama. Looking back, I probably should have Dovin's vetoed this, because there's not a lot of things I can Dovin's veto in their deck. Decline. Seal Away. Oh, that's pretty good, actually. Yeah. A cool thing about these O-Ring effects is if you exile your opponent's commander, you can blink these with Yorion and get value again out of them, which is pretty nice. I almost want to offer the trade because my opponent's at 1 card and I don't want them to amass things on the bottom. They might not even trade, though. I mean, is it the end of the world if they do? I think we can beat it. I think we can just not care. We can't really play anything. We can Ephemerate this. See what's going on the top, maybe? This doesn't mess up my weird loop that I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna... Alright, we still have 6 mana. I was gonna say I'll leave up both of these, but I don't think that's necessary. Okay. Come back on my end step. We got ourselves a decent blocker. They don't have a land on top, so that worked out. They might just scoop when I go to counter this. Bounce, counter, draw, copy Yorion. Yeah. I'm not even sure if it reads the... I don't even think they saw the Epiphany yet, because until I'm finished using it, I don't think they see what I just did, but they know if I'm sitting there thinking about things, it's probably a counterspell and they just lose, so... Sweet. Want to know. Approach Second Sun did not matter there, which I imagine is going to happen quite often, as it has been happening quite often. I want to try Oswald too. I feel like that's just hilarious. Oswald with key, and just keep trying to do that. We have an answer to their commander twice over, but it's only 2 lands. That's fine. This deck is pretty good. No Mana Rock? Ugh, Mana Rock is not what we want to see. Because now they can leave up a counterspell and I can't do anything about it. Pretty much lose if they counter my Skyclave, and there's a decent chance they can. Because their counterspell costs 1 less now. It's equal to his power. Oh, never mind. Never mind, they do not have 4 mana. I don't think I've ever seen this card sleeve, and I'm not going to give my opinion on it. Alright, so we're going to pass. Okay. Oh, I didn't leave up. Ooh, I should have played an island, obviously. That was a colossal mistake, because now I don't tap them out on my turn. Alright, so we just keep trying until it works. It will work eventually. Alright. Yeah, that was a huge misplay. They should have been tapped out when they went for this, and then I could have killed it. And now I can't, because I'm an idiot. Alright, moving on. Not going to waste my time. Absolutely should have been able to kill him. It doesn't mean I was going to win, but it would have slowed them down substantially. I would have been able to fight over a counterspell and then sweep the board. They'd have to recast it, and then I could kill it again. And then it's very far away from ever coming into play. But I played the wrong land, and none of it mattered. That's unfortunate. It was actually a pretty good hand, too. Without their commander in play, it gets a lot harder for them. Alright, we have Teferi. I should say you can interchange Teferi and Yorion if you want to play Teferi instead. Could be potentially better, but some of your blink effects get a little bit worse. Because you don't have, like, this 2 blink specifically, like Essence Flux and stuff. But it's certainly something you can think about. Do we leave up turn 2 counterspell? I think it's a good idea too. I don't really get punished for having a tap land later. I will counter pretty much anything because I'm going to be tapping out. Alright, opponent doesn't want to play Magic anymore. Interesting. Because we were going to tap out next turn and they could just easily resolve that. I was going to play the my own, actually, Midnight Clock. That's weird. That's a weird time to scoop. I cast 1 counterspell and you're like, ah. Okay. Maybe they were hoping I was all in on the blink stuff and I don't have counterspells. It's certainly possible. Is that... That's the 5-mana Jace from Shadows over... Or Return to Innistrad, right? Yeah. Okay. That's kind of cool. I haven't seen that in... ever, actually. That card is in my deck. Huh. That's very strange. How do I deal with this? We had Approach in that hand, but no blue mana, no blue mana in this hand. I think I'm going to keep this, though. If it's a mono blue deck that's trying to play a 5-mana Planeswalker, I think I have plenty of time. Okay. Like, counterspells, okay. That's fine. Yep, get a Plains here. Now, super likely they are running Field of Ruin, because it's just a monocolored deck. It's pretty much free. But now we have to contest with counterspells forever. They could think we're mono-white, given what I'm, like, doing right now, which is kind of funny. It's totally possible to be mono-white. I really need a blue source, though. Took a bit of a risk. I can't really allow this to resolve, because I don't have an on-board. Like, if it resolves, I don't answer it on the board. Like, it costs 5 mana, this doesn't do it. It doesn't untap lands like Teferi, so it's actually not that absurdly strong, but... Alright, we drew it. That's pretty cool. I'd be surprised if our opponent countered this, honestly, given everything else we could do. Looks like they're going to counter it. Memory lapse. Yeah, alright, so pretty much lose now. Though they do take a turn off if they just... Yep. That is so annoying, actually. If we had one blue source, we could not lose, and now we lose. There's nothing in the game that comes back from this in my deck. Nothing in my deck. I'm sure there's things in the game that come back, but not in my deck. Nope. They live up counter spells forever. Yep. That's... I don't know. I think you're just better off playing Teferi. You don't even have to be blue-white. You could just have some white mana in your deck and then just have Teferi there. It's just 10 times better. You could even splash some white cards now because you're doing that. But if you really wanted to be mono-blue, you could just splash some white sources and have a stronger commander. But yeah, if you untap with that in play, you pretty much win. It's very unfortunate that they did, but I took a risk there, not having any blue mana. Technically, we did find it, but it just wasn't good enough. Tiny Bones. Okay. No turn 1 discard spell. Do I memory lapse Tiny Bones? Do I even care? I care enough to try. I wonder if they put it on top. They do. I always find that really funny when people do that. Alright, so we get a land here. It's not like we're missing our land drop. Oh, this game's like randomly laggy. Drives me crazy. They have a stop on their own upkeep. I have no idea what... Oh, it's a re thing. A position. Whenever this changes zones, you get the choice to do what you want. They actually had a turn 1 discard spell. Okay. It's the worst one, too, but I guess it doesn't matter in this state. Alright. That's a pretty good draw here. It's actually really good. Yeah. I'm going to harass Tiny Bones for the end of time. Because if they're just recasting it again, I don't think we care. And we top deck pretty well. It's not just banking on amassing card advantage. Like, we can just play the game one card at a time. I have no counterspell. I'm just going to run this out here. Get a white source? Yeah. We have Book. Book is not particularly strong. I don't want to trade those. I'll trade Simulacrums, I think. I mean, technically, just casting Yorion is stronger than all of that. Because I can just exile this. With the Skyclave boy. This is good news. Alright, this is really good news. They can't swing. I have a 0-4. I would like to do that now, but this seems quite strong. I think I'm going to hit their commander, not the Simulacrum. Because they would get a 4-4 token when the apparition leaves. And dealing with your opponent's commander is probably a good idea always. Can't go wrong doing that. And we get a land. I like Yorion. I like how you can play kind of a controlling thing and still play to the board pretty well. Oh, they actually just let me... We don't need a sweeper. And Divination is kind of similar to Faceless, but Faceless gets me something a little bit more specific. We're just going to do that. They actually let Skyclave eat their commander. If I'm not mistaken, that does mean when this dies, you don't get it back. Right? It stays in exile, and it won't change states. Like, it won't go from a zone to zone. It stays in exile. Because I did this before on accident. I might have actually done it with Tiny Bones specifically, too, which is really funny. Alright, what are we getting here? Okay. This is when it dies, not enters the battlefield. I think I'm just going to run this out instead. I feel like it's more important to have that option later. I don't want to trade Simulacrums when they're a discard deck and I don't have really any cards, and if I do draw a card and then Mind Rot me, I actually just lose it. And this, I think, is impossible to deal with. They have no artifact removal in mono black in any way. Oh no! Alright, they got an answer to the board. Yep, command goes there. They gain like 5 life or something, and I lose 1. Draw a card, yep. This isn't really a good target for this, but I really want it out of my hand. So we're just gonna do that. Oh, it's not even a target, excuse me. It's not even a target, because it's actually not like 7 mana, it's just an X spell. But, again, dumping your hand makes sense against a discard deck. And it's funny that they probably accept the fact that Tiny Bones is not particularly strong in this spot. That is a interesting card, to say the least. This is the mill one, right? Yeah. That's weird. I don't know. I don't like... Again, I don't really like milling people. Because unless you're really going to mill them into oblivion, you're not doing that much to... You could potentially be helping them. Alright, so... I guess I'll get this one. No good targets there. Okay, I mean, you hit me. This is an instance where I don't even like to be swinging at my opponent because I have Elspeth, conquers whatever, and I'm going to reanimate a good creature now because you've given me one. Yorion does not stop this from hitting me. What am I reanimating? Approach got milled, but I think we're past that point. It's kind of hard to pull that off. Not necessarily, but... Faceless Haven would be nice. So, probably just reanimating Skyclave Apparition. Am I running this out? I feel better just leaving up Counterspell. So I'll just play this and pass. This isn't really that great either, because they have discard spells. Yeah, this doesn't really do much, but they don't amass 1, I guess. They can animate their manland and actually exile my best target, but they decline to do so. I think that's what I would have done. Oh. Whenever one or more creatures you decline. Okay, I was about to say that. It doesn't say you have to. That'd be weird. Alright, they didn't mill over a good creature, so I guess it's just gonna be Skyclave Apparition. I could do Cataclysmic Gearhulk, but they have one artifact that's good, and then the creature doesn't really matter. I'd rather just completely deal with the sword at this point. Probably. Huh. Cataclysmic Gearhulk. I'm just going to get the Gearhulk. It gives me a little bit better of a Yorion target. So what creatures do they keep here? Do I even Yorion? Feels like kind of a waste. It doesn't stop the sword from hitting me. But I probably should. I gotta keep my hand empty. Yorion flickering this doesn't do anything. And Yorion can't block sword, so there's no reason. And I also don't technically win the race if I go to cast Yorion. But I honestly should probably still cast it. I just think it probably makes sense to just still cast it, so we're going to do that. Now it's a matter of how many removal spells do they have relative to an army of discard spells. Doesn't seem like there's going to be a removal spell. Alright, that's pretty good, I guess. I can give the Gearhulk double strike. Are they just moving the sword? Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Give it lifelink. Yeah, I can give one of these creatures double strike when it attacks. That was a really, really good draw. It is a blue creature, though. Alright, but this has Vigilance, so we can safely swing all out. I don't care if this hits me for 2, right? That doesn't really matter. In fact, I should probably give Yorion double strike. Because we don't want the Gearhulk to die from both the creatures in play. So we're going to give you double strike. So they can't double lock. Yep, that's fine. We drew the poor man's Agent of Treachery. Alright. Okay. That token saved them quite a bit of life there. I think they should have... No, they didn't have any mana. That's what I was saying. They should have done that to draw something sooner, but it doesn't. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so at this point, it doesn't really matter if they keep hitting me with the... Rider, right? Like the equipment's not doing anything particularly strong. And we have an 8/8 hexproof. So the wolves won't overwhelm us really. And from here we can just give Yorion double strike and hit him for 8 a couple times. And if we keep top decking really well, there's also good things on the top. What do we not have access to now? Thassa, some lands. Eat to Extinction. Okay, they found a removal spell, sure. Okay. And swinging is basically free because you get a 2/2 that just blocks on the crackback. And you gain 4 life. Oh, they built Jace. That's funny. Jace was not very strong because this has protection from blue, and I can't bounce it. Not that I would bounce a Murderous Rider. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So, Crux of Fate. Really? That doesn't seem good at all. That doesn't seem good at all. I don't know why you would do that. Now you just don't have a creature for your sword. Oh, I guess you do have your Manland, actually. Yeah, you do have your Manland. Yeah, okay. We are at 6. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If it wasn't for that tap right now, we would actually be dead. So that was pretty good. We can flicker Kiora Best the Sea God, which I think I want to do instead of getting the mind control thing. Just getting as much value as possible out of this seems really good. And we're not necessarily after the mind control part. Like, stealing that sword seems decent, but it's not, like, the best thing I can do. So we're taking 5, but we have a tap down, and then we're at 1, which means it's... Oh, they're not putting it on their Manland. They're actually not equipping and swinging with the Manland. So we stay on 6. Interesting. Meathook Massacre would kill us if any of their creatures died after they hit us for 5. because every time a creature they control dies. Cycle. Oh no. That's poop. So do I swing for 16 plus 4? Yes. Because if they... yeah. We can't block, so it doesn't matter. Actually, it would matter if this untapped next turn, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't untap, so... if it did untap, then we would actually have to leave back a blocker, because the equip with the manland would kill us. I will be very, very happy if they fire that up and block. Okay, that is pretty huge. I don't think that was the best of ideas. Funny enough, Tiny Bones would have killed us too, because they just we had no cards in hand, and then we just lose 10. All right. Almost wanted to give the other one double strike, but at that point, I think it's fine. So now we can steal the sword, and I don't feel like Meat Hook will just kill us out of nowhere. I can't target the creature, just protection from blue. Oh, alright, so they have the other commander that's, in my opinion, way better. And it's weird that they didn't do the artifact side. I find that very, very strange. Because that, like, can genuinely kill me here. Yeah, we pretty much have to take this because I can't afford to not block. Alright, so we're going to loop this. That's not good, but oh well. Wait a minute. Why didn't I steal the... oh, I did steal the sword, excuse me. It's just, it doesn't show it like that. Alright, we lead with this first, though. You gain control of it, but you still have to move it personally. So equip 3 means I don't get this. I think I just have to pass here. No, because then I'm just dead, right? This in no way stops. This is control or own. Exile any number of non-land permanents you own. So I can actually blink this. Let's see. Fire this up, swing. No, we're dead if we do that, aren't we? I pretty much have to make a token copy of that, and then an 8/8. I can stifle their tap down, but then this just kills me. I have to move the equipment, and then I'm dead, though, because they tap all my stuff. Yeah, we're just dead, actually. We're just dead. So I can target this. I have to do this. Yep, I have to do this. Keep the new Yorion. No, we keep the old one. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter too much. Wait, it says own. And control? Oh, come on. I didn't finish reading it, dude. I saw own and control. I just saw own. So I don't actually flicker my Kira thing. Yeah, we're dead then. That's actually unbelievable. Well, protection from blue wound up being extremely relevant, which is very unfortunate. In fact, that game should have been over way earlier, but for some reason my opponent cast a board wipe and killed their own creatures, which doesn't make any sense, but... okay, I mean, yeah, that sucks. That's so annoying. Like, they swept their own board, and they had a man land that would have killed us, like, a little bit sooner if they were actually using it, and they weren't. And they still won. That just goes to show the degeneracy that is protection. That's unfortunate. Opponent made 2 plays that I would never make, and they weren't punished for it. Because protection from your opponent's deck just kind of turns off your brain. And you don't... It's like hard to make a mistake. We were close to dealing with it though. If it wasn't for that one exact card stealing our Sea God, we pretty much had it sealed in. There's not much you can do from that point, but we didn't have it. Oh, okay. So it's not the other green-white enchantment chick. It's the Ajani's Pridemate one, and they don't have a turn 2 land. Or untap, excuse me. Seal Away feels really good. Legion's Landing? Oh, it gives you a lifelink creature. Okay. Alright, so we're going to play Faceless Haven. Technically, we can activate it. Technically. No, we can't. We don't have triple snow. Alright, so we're going to have to seal away this. I guess we don't have to do it next turn. It's not like this draws cards. I wonder if we might be able to get away with playing Teferi's Protection, honestly. That's certainly a possibility. Alright, Growth Spiral feels alright. Electrolyze doesn't do much here. This can blow up an artifact. We don't really need to deal with creatures, but I guess Putrefy is just a safe bet. We can get rid of any land, I guess, yeah. We also have board wipes in our deck. We have one right here, sort of. What is that? They don't do anything at all? What? Why would you not do anything? Okay. Sure. That seems weird. I guess we just casket the commander? What are they gonna do? Heroic intervention or something? This seems really weird. Teferi's Protection. Okay. If they're willing to attempt to protect this, I feel obligated to kill it. I don't know if I want a Teferi's Protection this early. Like, there's not much going on that, like, I don't know, this seems weird. I think I'm going to seal away the token right now. So they don't get a trigger. Heliod. Okay, now we're definitely going to seal away the token so it doesn't put counters all over the place. One less creature in play to flip this into a somewhat annoying land. Hey, we can flicker the key over and over now. Nice. We actually did it. Which I will do right now. Hopefully the card we get is better than Gearhulk. It is arguably exactly the same as just keeping Gearhulk in hand. So none of these are particularly strong. I guess I'll take the regrowth and I could discard this and then pick up a card of my choosing instead, right? Seems... Actually, no. We're going to just keep the... We're going to drop this because if they actually answer my key, I don't have green mana and I can't cast this. And then I'm just... You know, I can't do anything, so... I would have kept Approach, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I would have kept Approach. I should be running Idyllic Tutor, I think, now. Teleportation Circle is an insanely good target every time, right? So, should probably just worry about that. Alright, so they gain life, put a counter here. Each creature in a loyalty. Okay, so it's not like that really does anything. Alright, they're playing around Gearhulk pretty nice. They're mana screwed a bit. Saw it coming, huh? This will be... No, this will not be tapped. So we're going to do this. Because we're not going to flicker the key. We're going to flicker Cloud Blazer. more cards in hand when you go to actually draft seems a little bit better here. And we get to leave up the mana. Otherwise this comes in tapped. Why am I... Whenever an angel... I'm gonna counter anything. Yeah. I'm gonna counter, like, anything. Feel like they're so behind that they just... Honestly, probably wasn't right to counter that. It's an extremely weak card. Very strange card, but, I mean, hey, you know. Opponent wants to run it, they can. Seems like I've never... I don't know, that's a really weird one. It wouldn't be my first 100 options. I was playing the Johnny's Pride Mate thing. Idyllic Tutor, but there are some spicy enchantment targets, so we're going to do that. We could drop a sweeper. We do kind of play to the board ourselves, so I'm not opposed to that. Funny enough, I've never actually owned a Soul Herder. Like, I had to craft one. Quite surprising, actually. I could drop one of the flicker effects, because there's not a ton of things to blink in my deck. I don't know which one I'd do. Oh, I guess we can drop Faithful Disciple, actually, because it's not an enter the battlefield, it's when it dies, and a lot of the targets it can get are not particularly strong. For some reason, I thought it was an enter the battlefield effect. I don't know how I came to that conclusion. Because I played, like I just played with it, too. And, it was when it died. Oh, big bolus. It's not the 4 or 5 mana one. That's interesting. Kind of strange. Double blue, no white, but we're against Grixis, so we probably have a ton of time to just kind of not do much. So I kind of like this hand. Alright, got the land anyways. We have no target for this except, like... Wait, what? Combat damage. Exile a non-land card from their... What? Should I answer that immediately? I feel like I should. Yeah, because not playing Guardian Idol this turn isn't that big of a deal. Oh, they Stone Rain me. Wow. Okay. This is not a kind of deck I was expecting. That's definitely interesting. I assume they're running a ton of land destruction then? It's not just like one card. Okay, so they look at the top 2 and they steal one forever, basically. And they can do it like twice. I guess we're just going to evoke the Mulldrifter. Hey, we got key. Cool. Are we expecting counterspells? They did not play a land last turn, unless they did. I'm not sure. I definitely feel like the 5-mana bolus is just way, way better, though. Alright, we're gonna... Might just... Is it important to hit a land? No, we're just gonna key. We have a bunch of stuff in hand we kind of want to get rid of, sort of. Oh, okay, they have counterspells, land destruction. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Okay, that's fine. We can answer that with Conqueror's Death, well, eventually. Okay. Let's do this again. Lightning Bolt. I guess Demonic Tutor is technically better than, like, that, I guess. Sort of. It's not the end of the world if I can't ever cast this, but it's alright. So they have mana to cast the big Nicol Bolas, right? Yeah. It doesn't... they just randomly plus from the top of my deck. I think we're happy, right? They got Charming Prince, which can blink off the enchantment. Alright, so if I don't answer this, I die, so I literally have to play this. Can I play this first? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, that's unfortunate. I can play this, get a land. It gets 2 cards out of my hand, it gets a land in play. But I think I'd rather save the tutor to deal with something later. Oh, wait a minute, are we just dead to... No, this is on 8. Yeah, alright, we're not dead to that. I was about to say. That ultimate would obviously kill us. If they deal with my key and I do not find a land, we're pretty much screwed. Alright, they stole Flicker of Fate, which doesn't actually do anything. That's pretty cool. They actually don't even want to cast it because it goes to... Oh no, that's not the flashback one. Technically, they can exile my stuff and flicker it. I don't think they want to do that. But if they flicker Charming Prince, they don't get it. We do. Okay. This is a really weird deck. Alright, we drew the land. They can't cast Nicol Bolas next turn because the Elspeth Conquers Death tax. They stole our counterspell, because of course they did. Great. Alright, we lose. How interesting. They just ultimate Liliana and we lose. Could have went for... No, there's no way I'm leaving Nicol Bolas in play. That's just ridiculous. There's no way. But, yeah, we lose to our own cards. The ripple effect of the only land destruction spell was actually quite efficient, because we were down a land for like a while and it was kind of crucial. That was the most random assortment of cards I've ever seen, and it's funny that it all just like synced up perfectly. Counterspells, removal, discard, land destruction, and then like your Super Friends deck as well, and you steal your opponent's card. I don't know, that they literally were running everything. Like all the rares ever or something. Like, oh, just went filtered mythic rares and regular rares and just like put them all in the deck. Worked out really nice. I like that list. I kind of want to try that. Thieving Grixis land destruction. It sounds ridiculous. Okay, no answer at all to their commander. I guess I'm doing this no matter what. So we basically lose? Like, I literally can't do anything? Oh, they're not playing it this turn. But I'm not exactly in a position to... Like, it doesn't matter. I guess we just look for... Reprobation? It sucks our opponent sees it. That's like really bad, but I don't really have a choice. We can also just... I mean, it'd be funny if they just snapped this off in the face of that, because it would obviously just be a... okay, they don't. Tome of the Infinite. Alright. Okay, alright. We're going to run out Midnight Clock and probably play Slayer's Bounty? Or do we just leave up Dovin's Veto? I don't know what I'm Dovin's vetoing. But I guess I'll just leave it up, because casting this doesn't seem like it's doing much. Alright, so we'll see how upset I get this game over Tome. I'm not gonna counter that. I could turn off the Electromancer, but then we have no answer to their commander. It would be great if I drew lands. That would be amazing. Look at the creatures. Okay, they have one creature, and it's the doubling of your spells, which they did not cast. I'm going to just do this now. Seal Away is alright. Technically, these are the same thing. Seal Away can be flickered, though, maybe later? That is really annoying. Alright, so we're going to get rid of Oath of Teferi? Yeah, we'll get rid of Oath of Teferi, I say. I'll take 2, and then we can attempt to seal away on end step. Didn't expect that. Okay. We're not technically totally out of this now, because we have this. Sweet, it just worked. Alright. I'm going to leave up Dovin's Veto, but I guess I'll try to seal away now? No, this doesn't matter. I'd rather seal away the thing that literally doubles their spells. I don't really care about a 2/2. Making their stuff cost... This is basically just a land at this point, right? Like, they don't... They're not doing, like, anything that crazy. Can they get naturalized? No, they can't. Okay. I mean, if this is all they're doing, I feel like I'm in a decent spot. Oh, there's a snowplow. Yeah, it's snowing like crazy here. Alright, they let that go. Yorion doesn't really do anything at all. Teleportation Circle doesn't really do anything. This can technically exile the tome, but I don't really care to do that. I guess it's better than not doing it. I don't know. It's probably going to get countered. This just doesn't seem like a strong card right now, so I don't really care if it gets exiled. It doesn't really even have any solid targets. If I were an opponent, I would just kind of let this go. Yeah, that's all we're getting. We stopped the tome, I guess. If that's worth anything. They haven't hit duress. Okay, they're giving you protection. No, they're just going to kill their own thing with a free lightning bolt. I could have Dovin's vetoed that, but there's a chance they have a ton of ways to kill their own commander, and it just doesn't feel good. We can not Teleportation Circle this. We can Yorion it. Pretty likely they have an answer to Yorion. Otherwise, this sequence of play doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So now we're just kind of hoping it's not double counterspell. Because otherwise we basically lose. Is that better than Yorion? Not necessarily. It's cheaper than Yorion, and we can reanimate this with the Conquer's Death, so I guess it's good for multiple reasons. They just let it resolve, that's pretty huge. I can Soul Herder this, but do I leave up Dovin's Veto? Opponent hasn't shown me any reason to... Soul Herder just flickers this and I eat a Mana Rock. It doesn't even feel that strong to do that. I'm just going to pass. This is pretty close to just becoming... Getting a new hand here is kind of funny. I almost don't want a new hand. Alright, they finally go for this thing, which I actually don't have an answer to. Okay. No creature in our graveyard, unfortunately. We're gonna just attempt to Soul Herder it, and then if it doesn't work, we can Essence Flux. So we kind of have a lot of ways to try to prevent anything crazy. They double Dark Ritual. That is really funny. Okay. Oh, this is the draw. This isn't double. I got you. Okay, so they generated 2 Dark Rituals, which they're just cycling. And a Fog. Alright, so the Tome was really bad for them, but it's funny that they actually had a card that allowed them to have it not really matter. Tome just essentially drew them cards instead. This seems good, though, for us, because having a bunch of cards in hand, I don't really... You're just replacing a bunch of... This doesn't... It just doesn't seem like the strongest thing. And none of that felt like it was worth Dovin's vetoing. They also have totally dead cards in their graveyard now. This only shuffles mine, though. But if they do shuffle those in, it would be kind of funny. There's a couple of giant X spells in their deck, but without their commander, it's if you're honestly casting them, I don't think it's a big deal. They drew quite a few cards there. Create an XX blue, then you may return an instant sorcery from your... Alright, let's attempt to not let that happen. As in, there's no way you can stop Dovin's veto. Wow, that's really crazy. Honestly, the token wasn't even that scary. I don't even... Like, if that resolved... It slows down my attacks a little? We could have played that a little bit differently. Went for Soul Herder for that 1-turn cycle. That way, if it got countered, we got an Elspeth Conquer's Death reanimate trigger. And that might have been useful. But we would have had to taken ourselves off of Dovin's veto, which could have been a problem. Well, it worked out, though. They also seemed a little bit counterspell light. Or just not willing to cast their counters. I don't know. Weird. Okay, we're against Mardu... what is this? Angel, Demon, or Dragon, and put it to your hand. Okay, so every time they cast this, they get, like, probably a giant Demon or Dragon. There's not particularly a lot of strong Angels. Funny enough, she's actually not an angel herself. It's really weird. Maybe I wanted to turn 1 cast out cycle, just to guarantee a second land, but... this seems fine, actually. This seems fine. Mardu is not a very common color combination. It's cool to see. Both of these are alright, but hitting land drops every turn seems more important. So here we just leave up Essence Scatter? I don't even know. Do we even care about this? Or do we just exile, like... Or we just counter the things, like, around it that it could just get? It just seems weird. Like, I could just counter the big creatures that... I don't know. Alright, we didn't draw a land, so we're gonna have to sort of do this. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Alright, we're gonna exile Time Wipe and Seek. And you can exile all copies of it, but there's only one, so... Seek a different card. Oh, that's alright, I guess. Sweepers seem decent in this matchup, but don't feel super, super important. Oh, that's actually insane. Okay. Didn't draw a land again. I can't blink this, because this costs 2. Alright, we found a land. Let's just leave up Negate. I'm not going to foretell. Negate might not even do anything. Like, they have a ton of like, everything's a creature, right? Except, apparently, this card. And, of course, they have it. I'm not going to cycle... No, I think I am going to cycle Neutralize, because I want to hit land still. Every turn. They fracture my... That is not what I would ever fracture, but okay. My ability to scry 2. Okay. Uh-huh. I've never seen that effect before. They got a Vargroth, which is the Vampiric Tutor looping thing. Alright, so I kind of regret looting away the sweeper, but oh well. No land. Think I'm gonna run out Midnight Clock. Opponent did just kind of waste a fracture there, so maybe there's no answer. And tap out for Idyllic Tutor getting what? I only have 1 white. I can't get Elspeth Conqueror's Death. Yeah, I think we just pass. I'd like to seal away this. They Skyclave me? Really? Okay, well I can't really let that happen. Kind of need my stuff in play. They bedevil my token. My mana rock. Okay, that's fine. It's basically free to give this vigilance now, so I can't seal away it. Not a land again. I think we need lands or we lose, so... Deputies... I could just pitch this. Actually, no, let's... I'm gonna just get rid of Faceless Agent. Didn't draw land. We can wait to see how they attack before we minus on this. They just go face? Really? Okay. That is fine. Uh-huh. Alright, so they only draw 2 cards a turn, or play 2 cards a turn because of the fires, so that's what they're doing. Counterspell. A little too late. I get technically better than negate though. So. Alright. Please something. Found a land. Can just pitch this. Play Deputy on their commander. No, we're going to Deputy the tutor thing and seal away their Seraph of the Scales. They don't get 1/1s when this gets exiled. And that's kind of important. We can even minus on their commander with Teferi so we don't take any damage. Can we... Don't control, so we can't phase out our own deputy. Do I want to go to 4? Technically, we can see how they attack before I choose how to use Teferi. I don't see them ever really swinging at Teferi, though. Probably going to swing at me anyways. Probably have to minus on that, because going to 4 seems a little sketchy. And the plus here doesn't seem like I'm pulling much off, so I'm just gonna do this. We don't have any Yorion triggers in play or targets in play yet. Everything's like busy doing things. Alright, I'm pretty sure Deputy is significantly worse in this spot, so we're going to do that. Oh, okay. Good old Fire's Invention, giving my opponent 20,000 mana. Well, why isn't this flying? The animation broke. So I can cast Yorion to block. I can cast... I have 4 mana after I do this. I can exile something. Yeah, I probably have to just find something like an O-ring. If I could cast this right now, that'd be amazing, but I can't. I could put this on there, guy. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Alright. Put this here. And then I can leave up Counterspell, or do I play Maze Mind Tome? I guess I should leave up Counterspell. Oh, I can't because the Elspeth Conquers Death. Oh my god, dude. Okay, alright. So we're going to get rid of, I guess, Teleportation Circle. Cool. Yeah, Fire's Invention is so degenerate. So annoying. I can cast this, leave up Counterspell, and we're not just completely dead to the Chandra, but we might as well be dead to Chandra. They reanimate 2 creatures. They only have 1 though, but they get their Seraph back that way. Because they exile the seal away. Oh, it's my graveyard too, actually. They could get Faceless or Deputy. Deputy kills us, so we scoop. They exile Cloud Blazer and hit me for 3 double Chandra Emblem. Yeah, Fire's just doubled their mana, which is ridiculous. Honestly, it wasn't 4 Fires. We were in a decent spot. You could argue it made no sense for me to get rid of my only sweeper when it wound up being extremely important that I had a sweeper that game, which I should have known as they were like a extremely creature heavy deck. But I didn't. This is the weaker of the 2 Krankos. The strength being it cost 1 more, or excuse me, 1 less. We don't really beat Goblins though, do we? We have a board wipe. But I don't feel like this is a good matchup. It probably isn't. Alright, that's not the best thing they could do. The Prospector is like the strongest card of all time when you're playing Goblins. So they don't have that one. That is not a land. We have an Omen of the Sea, and this is very good. So I probably need this. This is one of the cards I feel like is just somewhat important to be playing. I seriously doubt Dovin's Veto has any targets. And Disdainful Stroke has like 3. Well, that would have been good to Dovin's Veto. So I'm gonna play an untapped land because we have Omen. Wow, we actually have Dovin's Veto value. Okay. They didn't have a land. Sweet. Play this and pass. They cast this instead of their commander, which is weird. They top decked a land. They played that. Okay. So now I take a damage every time they swing or something? Yes. Those are some weird cards, actually. Opponent has literally played a single Goblin. This is very strange. Power 1 or less. Okay. Those are not lands. Yeah, we don't want those. We do not want those. Soul Herder feels really good. It's only a 1/1 though. I feel as though it's more important that no, because we can, if they don't do anything, I can scry to, and I can just leave up a counterspell. Probably have to deal with Krenko like right now. That is not Krenko, but it gives Krenko haste, so no. Do I upkeep Scry? That doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense in my opinion. This is only creatures, right? Target creature you control. Opponent just scooped. Alright, I don't know. They kept, like, the weirdest hand I've ever seen in my life from a Goblin deck. They had one mana, 1/1 Goblin, and then the rest of the stuff they did was not Goblins. They had double Mana Rock, but they were missing lands? I don't know. Seemed weird. Professor Onyx? I don't know if I've played it. No, I have. I've played against it before. I'm going to keep this hand. I definitely might... Yeah, I should probably shave 1 or 2 flicker effects. Maybe even add a couple lands. Although there's 37 lands? I think there's 37. Maybe 38? 36 to 38. Somewhere in there. So discard spells, removal spells. Unlike mono white, mono black can tutor and draw cards. Not like crazy amount, but it certainly can like keep up and not run out of gas like mono white. I mean, their commander technically draws cards, so. Turn 1 discard. No turn 1 discard. Interesting. Turn 1 what? What is this? Cycle? I don't know what they're holding. Dark Ritual? Find out. Alright, our hand is actually really bad. If they have Dark Ritual, we almost lose? Alright, that's not a Dark Ritual. So they're basically running every Mana Rock, I guess? No Karuga, though. Rip. Alright, that's a decent enough draw. Can start getting rid of some of this poop. Kind of expected some creatures by now, but okay. That would be good. Almost. We're going to get rid of Casket. That was almost really good. So now if they have Dark Ritual, we're in a pickle. Okay, they have it, but they cast it on their end step for some reason. To kill my... What? What, isn't it just better to Dark Ritual your commander? Doesn't that just make it absurdly... I don't know. Yeah, I would just have Dark Ritual my commander. Okay. They basically, like, force of willed my Teferi. Seems a little weak. But hey. So now they can go for their commander, but they probably never will because we have untapped blue mana. And I will gladly seal away this. I don't care about your mana. Nyx Lotus. Oh my god. Again, I really don't care about your mana. If you're not doing anything with your mana, it doesn't really matter to me. And I can technically blow up a bunch of artifacts with this. So now we're gonna Gearhulk to mess up all their stuff. Ooh, we drew another counterspell though. No, we're just gonna reset their mana rocks. As in, blow all of them up. They're keeping the one that doesn't actually tap for mana right now. It does in a second, I guess, if they cast Murderous Rider. It's Extinction Event. Okay, so this doesn't tap for mana still. Okay, we can blink that, so we're gonna just... This is an instant, right? Yeah, okay, I was about to say. Cast this. He's gonna stack. We can remove the trigger with that. Draw 4. Temple seems nice. No. Alright, so they're mono black. Not really much in the way of answers to enchantments and artifacts. Certainly some, but not a ton. Alright, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can recast this. But they don't want to ever do that when I have Kira Best of Sea God in play. Technically, we don't have that right now, but... I feel like leaving up mana is better than just running these out. This is, the minus is sacrifice creature, greatest power. Actually, no, this is just fine. It means their minus on their commander is really bad, so we're just going to do that. And still posture a counter spell. We could even try to double block. Swinging for 2 and then they just gain it right back doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Alright, so we're going to flicker Mulldrifter. No, we're going to just do this, actually. We're going to do that. Because then we can get this into play. Actually, no. Hold on. We're going to flicker this now to get a land, or attempt to. Nope. So no Kira Best of Sea God. We're going to Jace, because he doesn't die. And we can mill the... Yeah, that's fine. We can actually just mill the Massacre Worm. Oh, that worked out, actually. Look at that. Isn't that funny? Can still look for a land. I'm not going to posture a counterspell. Opponent can't really afford to play around them. We did draw it, but funny, we don't get the untapped blue. We got untapped white. And now their commander is not really strong. They can't play it in minus because it just dies. Sacrifice this, I fly, kill it. They can plus it, and it is in play. But then we have this to, like, steal it eventually, and they don't really have any enchantment answers, except, like, Feed the Swarm, which is like a single card. 5, 6, 7... They're 1 away from the City's Blessing. Yes. There it is. Alright, so we're going to pitch probably a board wipe. Probably. We could get rid of Faceless Agent, maybe. No, we can get rid of a Sweeper and hopefully not actually regret it this time, because I like the rest of my hand. Remember, the argument for me is just never milling your opponent, and milling yourself seems like a better idea. Almost like always, especially in mono black deck. I think no matter what I'm doing, I am starting with Kira Best of Sea God, though. Well, I guess I'm starting with the plus. Alright, we're going to mill them. I don't think this is right, but I'm going to do it. Mill 2 lands, that's actually really funny. Run this out, and make an 8/8 and pass. Alright, they actually had 3 lands in a row. We discard Idyllic Tutor? Probably. Opponent probably just scoops it when I do this. Nope. Still in it. Okay. Uh-huh. Scry 1. They put it on top, so now we're certainly going to mill them. Alright, we're going to discard Tutor here. They tap their team down, so they should just swing. Actually, it doesn't really matter. We also lock down their mana rocks, which is really funny. These go here, you go there. And I want to see what they put on top, Scry 1. It was actually a mana rock, that's funny. So they're probably deliberately playing around the Jace plus on them. We're going to blink our stuff now. I'm going to reset this because I don't want to lose it. I want to threaten to continuously harass, mind controlling their commander. I guess I could have actually done it with this as well. Shoot, I could have done it with Faceless Agent too, because we didn't have a counterspell in hand. There's no reason to leave out my mana. Yeah, I could have flickered more stuff there. That's my bad. Probably doesn't really matter, but it could have. Obviously, seeking twice is better than seeking once. So we get an 8/8 land. Doesn't matter which land. Draw 2. Scry 2. Don't want those. Okay. Alright, so now my opponent has an absurdly uphill battle. And they have a lot of mana rocks in their deck, which is a lot of dead draws. It's funny that they have all these mana rocks to like aggressively get to Professor Onyx, but when the option came to like arose to actually do that, they didn't. They used Dark Ritual to kill my Teferi, which, yeah, it's a good. I mean, it's a Planeswalker. You want to deal with it, right? But it's not. It's not 5 mana Teferi. It's not like you immediately have to deal with that one. So that was kind of weird. That was weird. I like this deck, though. We never, ever, ever did Approach the Second Sun. So certainly a weaker version of an Approach strategy. The other things it did were plenty strong. Definitely a mix between 5 mana Teferi and Yorion as a commander, which makes them kind of interchangeable. As the Blink strategy and flicker stuff isn't, you're not all in on that, and you're also not all in on the counter spells, board wipe control. You're kind of doing both, and it's weird because, you know, they don't play super nice with each other. It's not like it's a mono blue tempo where you're playing like spell pierces and 1 mana flashes that draw cards. You're just playing like a mid-rangey values thing with counter spells, some card draw, decent planeswalkers. It's cool though. I like it. I like the mix, and I like how it's. I mean, it's viable. Like you can win games like this. I want to try Oswald. I think I was saying that earlier, because Oswald is, with the key, seems really strong. You can like pick the key up with certain artifacts, and you can run Teleportation Circle. An idyllic tutor to get it. Basically 2 copies of it, even if it's your only enchantment to get. It's just a second copy of Teleportation Circle, which seems strong when you're all in on key. But that would be for a different deck. What else do I like about this? The mana rocks are cool. You're not all in on like ramping aggressively to anything. What would I change? I'd probably get rid of maybe both of these 6 mana cards. Sublime Epiphany and Discover. They're good when you get to cast them. Sublime Epiphany probably slightly stronger. I wish this was like 5 mana, but it's 6, and that's just, ugh. Little steep. Some of these 3 mana counter spells were a bit questionable. I guess mostly just neutralize. It does have a 2 mana ability. This could always cost 2. Whirlwind is half of a counterspell, half of a stifle, right? Can technically counter multiple things at the same time if it lines up that way. Not impossible. The Book of Exalted Deeds combo, when you can't really look for either piece, it's not very good. I have no way to get this, and I have no way to get this. We can't tutor for a snow permanent or look for a non-basic land, and we can't tutor for an artifact. Can't ideally tutor this. So unless there's a card I'm not thinking of that I could potentially play, we'd probably do better just taking this out. I'm going to do that now. And I did craft this, and I don't think I ever cast it. That's unfortunate. Certainly one of the weaker cards in my opinion. When it comes to card draw, you're kind of all set. You don't really need something like that much mana. Because you spend half your turns tapping out to play things, and then the other half leaving up like certain counterspells and stuff. Some blink effects maybe. It's nice to have backup reset buttons with sweepers, especially when your opponent's probably not expecting them, as you do somewhat play to the board, even though that isn't necessarily how you win the game. Like, I don't think we won. We never really won with damage or approach, and we still won with like people scooping to you having too much value. How much land do we have though? 35 lands. All right, we can add maybe one of each basic here. I felt like I was getting massacred quite often. And then we can add the curse team is popular, but Esper Sentinel, actually, I keep forgetting about this card. I think this is just really good in pretty much every deck that has white. Taxing everything your opponent does that isn't a creature is really strong. Especially when it amasses cards, you can play it super early. I like this card. Certainly going to go in. Same with Smothering Tithe, actually. Maybe that should be in here. Could drop one of the board wipes. Suppose the one I would get rid of first would be one of these two. Leave the one that returns a creature, and the ability to blow up all my opponent's artifacts and enchantments seems alright. Because there is Scythus to be concerned about, which we haven't played against yet. I kind of want to keep Day of Judgment. There's really nothing in the format that regenerates. Day of Judgment just looks cooler. I'm going to do that. And then I can run Smothering Tithe, which I think is strong. Not as strong in like 4-player Commander, right? But certainly stronger than I think the 4th board wipe, or even 5th board wipe if you count Gearhulk. What else didn't feel super good? No, everything else felt fine. We never got to Meteor Golem. Kiora Best of Sea Gods is nice. These are basically just like the two remaining things that are closest to Agent of Treachery. It's funny. No, I like it. I like how it looks right now. Neutralize could potentially be a different card. I think that would be the next thing I would take out. Or maybe even Sublime Epiphany would be one of them too. What's cool about this is it doesn't have to be an instant. You can do this at sorcery speed and get some really good, you know, a sick turn out of it, which I like. But yeah, alright, I think I'm going to stop there. Definitely going to try Oswald next time. But let me know what you thought about this deck. What I should change, what was really good and stuff. If you played it at least, or had opinions while watching. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you next time. Peace. Like and subscribe. Wait. I'm going to wait 20 seconds because then it's exactly 90-minute video. And I feel like that's a good thing. So we're going to sit here and talk about... I don't know. I only have 10 seconds. What do I talk about in 10 seconds? I might be getting a haircut soon. Yeah. Might be resetting the old afro. We'll see. And...